Hello, hello, welcome to another video for Forza Motorsport. This is in the Mazda MX-5 Cup spec lobby. It's not really a spec lobby. You can upgrade your car a little bit. It's already pretty high in C-Class. You can upgrade it to the 500, I believe, in B. So even with the stock setup such as this, it is still fairly competitive. I am using Greeted Dust's stock tune right here because I am terrible at tuning. And before we get into the racing commentary, the racing has already begun. There's a really BS penalty for an entire second for just barely tapping somebody. Racing incident merits a 1 second penalty. Real quick, the last video about Forza being a waste of time, I still stand by that. It is a waste of time. It takes a long time to get through one race, and it's annoying, and it takes a long time to get through to level up your car just to slap some parts on there and be competitive. It's several hours of investment, and I know you can do the AFK whatever, but that's not how the game should be played and all that. A lot of people took that as a negative review of the game entirely. It's not. I had a lot of people agree with me with my opinion. I also had some people telling me that, wah, you're whining because you're not winning. That wasn't you guys missed the point entirely on that one, so it wasn't a negative review of the game. This game is awesome. I'm not reviewing this game because I don't want to. But there's your first lap and a half of this race. Up into 5th place. Some people get really aggressive. I go too wide there, completely missing my braking point and falling back into 6th place. So that race is over with. 6th place at Eagle Rock Club with the little chicane. So pretty fun. Next we're going to go up to Miami Infield. Now this one has ESV Lawrence's tune on it. You can see that big ass spoiler on the back, and I'm up to level 9 now, so which means that the PI is maxed out to what it could be, so I should be more competitive. However, you'll see that this car, for whatever reason, I don't know if it was the tune or just my inability to drive, to stay competitive, because the tune feels pretty good. It just doesn't feel that fast. Like the straight line speed is slightly slower. Now there's a grip build and a power build. Oh, Breezy just killed him. What a murder we witnessed there. There's an aero, there's a grip build, and there's kind of a power build where the MX-5 will have more straight line speed. Not by much, but it does count whenever a track has a lot of straight line or straight oh my goodness, I can't speak on that. Has a lot of straightaways. So we're tucked back in behind Pingolinguin. That's a very confusing name. Pretty funny name, though. Breezy's going to go on the outside. He has one of those power builds, and you'll see what I'm talking about right here. Maybe I should have downshifted to first gear, but Breezy has the power. So does Limited Slip. Limited Slip seems to have the same type of build going on with his car. I'm trying to shut him out, but not completely block him there. Hit the apex quite nicely. Now this is where things get sketchy, because I can take this a little bit faster than some people, and I didn't mean to tap Breezy. I tapped the brakes, and this guy, I don't even know where the hell he came from, comes out of nowhere and gets past me, messing up my line. Limited Slip on the inside. There was also a race that didn't record for whatever reason, and it was at Hakone, and that was actually a really good race. What happened there was I accidentally hit somebody, and just sportsmanship, I hit them and they went sideways. So I stopped my car and let them pass me and then continued the race. Got around him after a couple turns, finally got around him, and he went to try to ram me. And I haven't had anybody try to ram me in a long time. And that was pretty interesting, so I wish I would have captured that, because it was hilarious. Not only did Limited Slip almost hit me and try to steer out of it, somebody was able to put up the smoke screen and just give me a free position there. So I'm in 15th place, and if you don't take that curb right there, or that turn right there, if you don't take it at a specific angle, the angle of the track will toss your ass, and that's my least favorite thing about this track. The thing on the inside, Limited Slip back right behind me. And it's some solid racing, but it's just we're battling for 15th place here, so it's not the most important of battles, but still some tight racing nonetheless. And some of these guys just have their car dialed in. I bet you they raced this car non-stop the entire week it was out. And I don't blame them. This is some really, really intense racing, really close battles happening all throughout the field, as you can see here. I mean, I'm in 18th place here. And the final turn of the final lap, look how close this is. So even if you find yourself at the back of the pack, the racing is still actually pretty darn fun. So I hope they have the Mazda MX-5 Cup return fairly quickly. Now here we are at Laguna Seca, and I don't remember which tune I'm using here. I want to say I'm using THR Trypassin. His gear ratio is completely different. It's one of those power builds. You'll see that the grip, the big old spoiler in the back is missing. So his build does not have that spoiler. But I was about a second faster with the Trypassin's tune, and I did not mean to spin him out of the way, but I'm not going to stop. There's too many cars behind me. I'm not going to slow down and stop the race. Unfortunately, kind of ruined his race early on. I got a warning for my collisions and then a half a second penalty. That was almost a complete wipeout. He took himself out, luckily, but Cosworth was able to correct himself and save that. So the livery I'm using now, before I was just using a stock livery, but now my teammate, EXR GrandSean, he made this livery, and I had to immediately slap it on my car because he is one of the best in the booth, and I gotta represent whenever he makes a new paint for a car. Going down the corkscrew, trying to be as narrow as possible without losing too much speed. That is the name of the game. The misspelled Diablo guy goes on the inside and has... He went in narrow and came out wide. With full speed completely ruining my race. So, not going to be back from wherever we were. Now I'm back into 15th place. So thank you, Diablo. Learn to spell your own name. Fog Maximus making a mistake. I did as well. Went on the outside of him. Luckily no penalty there. The red car off into the beach here at Laguna Seca. I'm going to tuck in behind Dragoon. Let's scoop up to lap 4 because not much happened. I just followed Dragoon for lap after lap after lap. We finally caught up to misspelled Diablo, and he's still all over the place. Thus, that's why everyone's passing him. Dragoon and I right behind him. Dragoon's going to go on the inside and just kind of push him. And I didn't think I was going to hit him. I thought I was going to narrowly escape him. And I got a 4.5 second penalty for that! Are you kidding me? He literally did not get a penalty for knocking me off the track, but he's already sideways, and I didn't intentionally hit him, and I got a 4.5 second penalty for that. So Fog Maximus on the inside. Trioras? Some people have the silliest names, and I don't know how to pronounce them. Maximus off, tapping the beach there. Red car here. Trey coming out of nowhere. It's like, okay, I'll leave him some space. I have the apex here. I have the apex, and nope, Fog Maximus thinks he has the apex. Pushing me off the track. Colliding with me, but luckily I'm able to get back in. Tucking into 11th place. Kind of all over the place. Maximus has the better line. He's going to have the inside line. And his grip just allowed him to have the better line going into this turn here, the final turn. So back into 12th place with a 5 frickin' second penalty.
Final lap.
And that 5 second penalty is going to bite me pretty hard. There's a little foreshadowing for it. Trying to go on the inside of Fog Maximus here. And I kind of locked up the brakes just a little bit. That's why I tapped him there. Fog's on the inside. He has the better line here. And Trey coming out of nowhere. Oh my god. Red Rocket of Death. Dragoon also passing. So, a lot of desperation when it comes to people trying to overtake in this lobby. Including myself at times. So here's Trey on the inside. Taps me, but there was actually no problem there. He apologizes pretty quickly there. We actually kept saying sorry to each other because there was one time I tapped him and didn't really merit any screen time, but I did tap him and said sorry. So we just started becoming Canadian to each other and apologizing over and over and over. So Fog Maximus probably getting taken up by Diablo. Or maybe just out driving himself, because I know Dragoon's actually up ahead and he drives pretty good. I'm going to stay on the inside line here and tuck on the apex, literally blocking him. So I'm able to hold the prestigious 13th place. But this 5-second penalty is going to dump me back into 18th place. And Diablo, everybody, they all passed me. So, coming full circle, no pun intended, Eagle Rock Speedway once again, in the same car, in the same tune, with the same paint. This tune is very slow on the start. I qualified in, I think, 4th place, and I get dumped back into 7th place relatively quickly. Fog Maximus has a new livery all of a sudden, and this race was literally right after Laguna Seca. Speaking of desperation, there's only 3 real turns on this track, and you'll see tons of desperation happening at that chicane, and some crazy people trying to take some shortcuts. There's no tire walls anymore, so people are trying to take shortcuts, and you will see it'll be demonstrated very, very soon. BHM 27 with the drift livery, it looks like, on the outside, dumping it into 4th place so I can maintain maximum speed going around the roundabout turn here. On the brakes pretty hard, second gear. And then you'll see Mr. Smudger here. We'll get to know Mr. Smudger here real soon. Real good. Not consensual, though. I don't consent to anything of what Smudger's about to do. Smudger was pretty fast in qualifying. Didn't leave me any space there. Had to tap the brakes so we wouldn't take each other out. And then I get a half-second penalty for that. He turned into me, so I spam thanks for that. And I'm hoping that's all we'll see of Smudger. Because I'm in 4th place, half-a-second penalty. That is manageable. Trying to catch up to Power Guido. 2nd place, a little bit too much on the curve, and going in for the desperation overtake again. You'll see BHM going through the sand up into 4th place. Like, what the hell is happening? We're on the 3rd lap, and just chaos is already going off, popping off crazy over here at Eagle Rock. Big Bad Q in 1st place, and I'm pretty sure he's going to maintain that for the whole race because he's comfortable up there. Smudger gets in front of BHM 27, which is a shame. I'm going to take that apex quite nicely. It was a little too slow, but they're just tapping each other. They're both not good drivers. Sure, they may be fast in qualifying, but holy crap, they just have the worst amount of sportsmanship imaginable. So I'm on the inside of Smudger here, very risky, but I got it. Respectfully up back into 4th place, where I should have been 2 laps ago. And gee, who could have seen it coming? Oh, I did, but he still doesn't. And if you notice the notification line, BHM just cuts through the sand again, and he immediately gets disqualified. So we all gain a position, get our positions back, pretty much. Rocket Dude are coming out of nowhere. Smudger all over the place yet again. There's enough space on this track, especially right here, to have 10 MX-5 side by side, but somehow he just has to get right in the way. We're entering lap 6, and Smudger is going to be back. You'll see the disqualified car ghost lapping now at this point. Coming in hot yet again, and I've about had it with this guy trying to make desperation moves, so I'm going to kind of nudge him off the track a little bit. Legal move, forced him wide, and he tapped the brakes. Him tapping the brakes gave me just enough space to get away from his ass finally. and couldn't catch up to Rocket Duder, but there you go. 5th place at Eagle Rock. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you at the next race. Bye-bye.